pretty easily. So going into this map, number one, all it simply does come down to, when you got a chance to look back at the VOD, was just the rotation win percentage from New York to LAG. New York, they started with great time at P2, changed it to the P3, and then at the P4, they got the initial 30 seconds. When you have that much of a lead on a map like Embassy, it's all about keeping the rest of the hills scrappy. And that's what New York were able to do the last time around. So can they repeat it here to potentially go up 1-0?
Yeah, it feels like if you're New York, right, you have the confidence. Hey, we just beat this very team on these 3 first maps that we're about to play. On the flip side for LAG, I mean, maybe I'm just trying to be a beacon for positivity, Jay, but I mean, if you're LAG, you can go back, watch the VOD, figure out the mistakes, and try to learn from them here.
Yeah, and you can already see they're already adjusting, because the last time they played New York, the ARs were getting shut down. Yeah. A 0.6 out of Assault and a 0.5 out of Arcades. And already starting off better. We know that the P1 is going to be scrappy. Neither team is going to fight for majority of these times. They're more focused on finding the kills and flipping those spawns. And with New York finding the clean 4 dead, they are on the preferred side going into the next hill.
Yep, they will be indeed. We'll see how long that can last. Final 10 seconds of scrap. Going to go the way of NYSL. LAG ready, focused, and now looking toward the front as Priesthood Hydra able to put away for a few. In the meantime, it's actually a big fight for the right side, top right side of your screen. Player 3 wins that. We actually do have an unfortunate team nade to kick off this team battle, so the load a little bit lightened here for the boys of the Guerrillas.
Yeah, Subliners just helped them out tremendously off that rotation. Big team nade, and Priesthood also losing that one-on-one 4 street control. So now LAG set themselves up to get some much-needed time at the P2. Assault's not missing shots. He finds himself on a 4 street, cannot find the kill on the Kismet. But your AR duo in Arcades finds that trade, and it's still the Guerrillas on that time.
It feels like you're already starting to notice the pace coming in from LAG. Exceed flying, and right now flying at 4-4. He is definitely one of the players who is very impactful. We know the confidence and the passion that this guy can provide to a team like this, and right now they need it. A quick 3 down, and now he is the only player now in position. He falls away, and from there, now it is all about this rotation over toward ACs, and that is a big double coming in from Arcades.
Yeah, Arcades gets 1, and Jodeci is there for the second. So they take control of bottom orange. They win that rotation over towards top AC, but Arcades is still the sole man up here. He's waiting for a trophy to get put down. Jodeci is eventually able to hop on the point, but you cannot allow Hydra to make this play. He's going for that flank up the ladder. He cannot find one. Jodeci with the perfect read.
They got a little bit dicey there for a moment. I thought LAG were not going to check that ladder. They eventually do. Cut away Hydra, and that is sweat off the brow, at least for, what, maybe 5 seconds till he's right back in your face, but you will take it. Right now, if you're Guerrillas, another trade that for the moment does favor them, but New York, having a few arrows nearby, they're continuing to win these fights. It takes a long time, but NYSL eventually are there for the break. 20 seconds is what they will earn, and now we're looking toward offense, and you've got everybody from LAG here outside of Jodeci.
Yeah, you got everybody from LAG off the rotation, but you cannot lose these gunfights, because then you spawn all the way across the map. Hydra's already setting up the pinch. Kismet from the front end. They find the initial 2, so at least you do have a couple players still in the fight. The last player here is going to be Jodeci. More players here from the Subliners, but they can't find the trade. Joe's doing it all.
How great has he been, especially throughout our qualifiers? I mean, he's been able to talk so much at length with the desk, touching on how, hey, you know what, we're fighting for our spot, we're fighting for cash, we're doing everything that we can. He has had some great moments, and right there, that is absolutely netted LAG a decent advantage. Now here comes attempt number 2 from New York at a break.
Sending 2 players through the street side, 1 player through back single door. So it's all about who starts off in the trades. Hydra finds the first. Jodeci still taking players down. But it's New York finding the break for the final 25. You still have Exceed going on that deep flank, so they don't want to give this one up for free, because you know your teammates have that rotation over towards Kitchen, as New York with more bodies win those final gunfights, and they're going to be able to take the final 15.
This was especially a hard point that when these teams faced off in our Major 5 qualifiers, New York looked very, very good on this upcoming P5 here at Kitchen. We'll see, as we said, if LAG can adapt and start to learn. It is currently a tie game as we head to the final hard point of the first set of rotations. It is New York winning those crucial battles early, and so far looking at the scoreboard, really nobody overall that sensational. It's Hydra with majority of the engagements, but only +1. Guerrillas hanging with them.
Yeah, Guerrillas are fighting right now. Currently down by 15 points. You just got to find an entryway in towards the kitchen. Jodeci finds the first, but they got to take down the SMG, who's still causing problems in towards red. Hydra finds 3, Kismet with the 4th, and New York, they hold down the line for that first push. Final 30 seconds. If they can get this, you're just thinking about keeping the rest of the game scrappy because you have a nice little comfortable lead.
Like I said, this is, I mean, it literally looks exactly like how the Major 5 qualifier went, right? Whenever you get Hydra and Kismet in these small spaces, well, sometimes they can die from nades, but if you got that Phasm in their hands, they're going to light you up. LAG, they finally come away with the break, but it's only for 10 seconds as we reset. It is NYSL with the slim advantage. Jay, I mean, is this what you wanted to see from LAG? Is it a little bit lower than what you expected? What would you give them in terms of a grade so far?
I feel like they've been doing a lot better off the rotation. We're talking about getting early over towards the P3, got some initial time, and at least kept it scrappy. And then you start off at that P4 with Jodeci's finding like 5-6 kills in a row. So that eventually is what leads them to getting back into this game. But into the second rotation we go. You just have to trade more efficient. You cannot lose these 2v1 gunfights versus Hydra. You have to make sure you're setting up your teammates properly for these next hill and getting those trophies down.
Yep, all eyes to the bottom side of the map as P1 oftentimes not going to away with, or rather not going to walk away with all that many seconds. There was like a recent stat that came out talking about how P1 on Embassy, one of the more difficult hard points in COD history to grab time on. And so far, both teams pretty much avoiding it like the plague, and understandably so. So valuable is parking lot as now we prepare for it. It's New York currently with numbers.
And at this time around, it's going to be New York with street control. The Guerrillas, they're spawning in towards bottom PD. They're going to be able to retake that positioning. But it's all about taking down Priesta. Throwing a couple snakes, playing his life beautifully for his teammates to eventually get into play. He can just get the job done himself. Street control in favor of the Subliners, and now they're getting the time.
How great has B-Dog been, especially in some recent dubs for this team, does eventually fall off of the spree. So the defensive line now a little bit bruised, a tad battered. Really, it's a race to walk away with these final 35 seconds. You need this bad. If you're LAG, it's Jodeci's on one side. Meanwhile, it's the rest of the squad mates on the other. They are erased, evaporated as New York begin to advance this lead that much more. 145-89. Guerrillas, you got two players getting ready to contest for late. They're also trying to think about new. This lead starts to get scary, especially if this fight goes skies away. There it is.
And finally, New York able to take them off of that remaining time. And I thought it was going to be a scary situation because when you lose those initial two fights, you don't get that remaining junk time. You're now in a man disadvantage off the rotation. So there's only two players sitting towards top AC, 3 players from the Subliners trying to apply the pressure. Attacks have to be thrown. You got to get these trophy systems out of the way. But so far, the Guerrillas, there's no sweat. They're holding down this power position. They're getting some much-needed time at the top AC. Still a 50-point game.
You get some high fives going on, but it's Hydra who makes his way in toward the back. He has come up the ladder for 3. This was the same situation the last time around. However, they were able to read him. Joe doing everything he can to try to keep this push alive, and this is where the game could really start to be decided. Nades everywhere. Utility continues to fly. As LAG do give away a few points, they at least grab the scrap. And as we rotate, let's go ahead and step aside and go to the comms of the Gorilla Boys.
That's one. That's one. Yeah, you want the top of us.
Adam, I can go top right there. We chill out office.
I'm working for 2. You want the dub. Turn time skills, go. You want the dub.
2 week.
Spawn everything, Joe.
I think top dub. I'm top. I'm top office. I'm top office.
I got it. He's on the decimal time.
What's Ivy?
You're 3 decimal.
I'm stunning. I'm stunning. Adam,
Backside. Yo, doggy 2. Cheers, doggy. Watch out. I can't jump. Cheers. That's one fast.
I got your hold.
That's one shot. That's one. I'll pitch you all 100% or H2.
I got H1. I'm going back and forth. H1. He just said H1. I don't know.
I'm on solo.
Yeah, I'm back.
I'm on solo. Fucking shit.
Adam, I'm about to bump up like.
That could be bad for now.
Yep, I got back.
No,
He has nothing P1.
Did they spawn the back on me?
No. They could have.
They spawned P1.
I got H1 there.
They just went new. They just went new.
I got a cross.
Back C. Watch out. He's spawned back. Nice, good job.
Once you be X,
But look at my kids. I left the orange spot someone.
Gotcha.
Top of C. Top of C. Yeah, 2 of them spawning gas.
What's new? What's top? New.
I'm on streaks.
One's gonna be gas.
Front red. He went launcher. I'm dead. He got me. Caesar got streak. Alright, I didn't get my streak, sorry.
After that.
Absolutely, good job.
Nice. Preston's orange. He just got orange. One got gas killed me. That's one
I blocked orange.
okay. Terror time. Well, he's left corner hill.
He's still bottom orange. Back to Z. Oh, top of C.
Well, how about that check-in there with the Guerrillas? A great balance of, overall comms. I think when it comes into hype moments, they've had a fair few deaths from time to time. Jay, is it fair to say that might have been the cleanest listen that we've heard with the Guerrillas all season long?
Yeah, the communication is clean right there from the Guerrillas. And when you have that much great communication, that's what leads yourself to get back into the game with a flawless P4 hold. It's now only a 10-point difference, but the Subliners still in control of Kitchen. Final 10 seconds, but Priesta with the beams out of the Vaznevs, able to take down Assault from that position. At least right now, with only 5 seconds remaining on Kitchen, Subliners are on the preferred side. We're back to the P1. How scrappy can it be?
Yeah, this is really going to be the balance for the girls, right? You want to try to walk in with P1 time. You're also trying to get them away from that backside parking lot spawn. A lot to handle and a lot to deal with. But as we said, the comms seem strong enough to be able to handle it. But is the gunny going to be there? That is a lovely and perfectly timed triple coming in from NYSL. 40 points left.
Now Subliners are set up for this flawlessly to get some really good time off of this P1 hardpoint. They can no longer win it here. They're controlling the spawns. You have top paper control. You have bottom PD. You're holding down top AC as well. So all power positions are now in favor of the Subliners. But with only 20 seconds left, you have to be thinking about that next hill. And already the Guerrillas have 2 players spawn over towards the street. Arshades being the route man, the anchor for the Guerrillas to try to get him back into this game.
Yeah, Alec just won a huge 1v1. They get some nice spawns, and he also is able to have a few reinforcements joined alongside of him. So it's currently New York with the overall advantage in the game, but right now it is LAG with preferred positioning. But this team fight is going to tell us everything. The opportunity for LAG to come back and the chance for New York to close it out.
And look at the route that Kismet's going to be able to hit. He goes to that flank onto the street. He gets the timing onto Assault, but he doesn't commit towards that side of the map. He's trying to regroup with your teammates, contest from the middle. And that's exactly what New York are going to do. Contest from this side. Try to keep LAG from getting much needed time off of this P2. 200 to 224. Both of these squads are fighting.
And New York did just ran 3 players straight through the middle lane. There was nobody from LAG watching what is without a doubt the most prominent point of view in this hard point. New York have the chance to win it here. LAG beginning to scramble as P-Dog going on another spree. That's 3 in a row just before he falls. Guerrillas still hanging in there, but Jay, that hard point needed to go much better than that.
And now it's only about the rotation. And that's going to be Subliners winning those initial fights. Hydra's able to dip and dodge, get away with his life, puts himself in a greater position, and is able to win the fight. So it's only 11 seconds until Subliners take game 1.
LAG needs something special. Arshades finally is able to find that kill onto Hydra. It's been such a problem over on the ladder. Kismet, a chance to put the final nail in the coffin. Yet to see it. Exceed and Joe deceives. They find a few, and with that, Guerrillas maintain control for the moment.
Guerrillas are in full control of top AC, but at least if you're the Subliners, you're setting up the team push. Use these tacks to find an angle. Priesta with the nade, Priesta with the gunny is able to find the initial 2. So right now the Guerrillas do not have the numbers. You have to get off the point. You have to play to hold down this orange control. And there's only 25 seconds on the game clock. That might come into play.
Oh my God, another thing you have to think about. If you're LAG, you've got so many enemies on the map. And right now, if you're New York, you can just dance around the hard point. Only 5 seconds left. Not gonna happen. Are they going to go for the last second contest? It looks like they will.
Wait a minute.
New York sending 2 players here. Meanwhile, it's a rotation. They've won the gunfight. One last player has to dive in, but it's not going to matter. NYSL